Is the market finally taking a turn, guys? Have you seen the signs? Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. There's something happening in our market. Something is changing, which I hope will make some of you happy. What does that mean? Well, check out this video and I'll give you all the details that will hopefully help you guys make better decisions when it comes to real estate. Because as you know, when it comes to real estate, I got your back. Check it out. Hey, Robert Tolnai here, your local realtor with Robert Tolnai Home Group. Alright, so let's get into it, guys. Really cool shift that we're seeing in our market right now that will hopefully take away some craziness that we've been seeing in the last few months. So before we get into it though, if you're watching this on YouTube, guys, I would really appreciate it if you would just subscribe to the channel and give a thumbs up to the video and maybe even put a comment. It really helps the YouTube algorithm to push this out to other people that might benefit from this video. So I truly appreciate that. Thank you so much. Click right there. All right. So what we've been seeing, guys, in the last few months, about 3 to 4 months, is a slight increase in the inventory of homes, which you know that's been our biggest problem over the last year and a half, almost since last May, that the inventory has just been so low, guys, compared to the demand that we have for the houses, which obviously has skyrocketed our prices here in Arizona and in most other places across the nation. And it's just been making it so difficult for buyers to be able to buy a house that they truly love. Now, obviously, on the other side, it's been incredibly amazing for sellers, but it's gotten a little bit ridiculous. I mean, let's face it. So this increase in inventory that we've been seeing, guys, in the last 3 to 4 months, we're hoping it's going to continue, and that's what the numbers show. That's what the statistics show, that we're going to continue to see more new listings coming on the market. So hopefully that will bring us back to somewhat of a normal transaction kind of thing. Doesn't mean it's going to bring us back to a normal market, which would be a balanced market. We're nowhere near that. So it's still going to continue to be a very strong seller's market, but at least hopefully these crazy terms, guys, will go away. What do I mean by crazy terms? If you guys haven't been in the market or haven't been watching my stories or my little videos here and there, it's just been nuts, guys. So for example, buyers have had to give pretty much a kidney or a firstborn child to get a house, right? Hypothetically speaking, of course. But things like having to waive the right to an inspection. So no inspection done at all. Forget repairs. No repairs done by the seller in almost any case. Of course, the bidding wars, bidding the prices up crazy amounts, which we'll get back to that in a minute, but making your earnest money non-refundable, crazy stuff like waiving the appraisal contingency. What that means is no matter what the house appraises at, you as a buyer will pay in cash the difference between that amount and the amount that you agreed to on the contract. So that's been anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000, $20,000, $50,000. I've even heard of over $100,000. Haven't seen it in my transactions. For us, I think the highest that we've had is somebody paid our client $52,000 over the appraised value to the contract price. So crazy amounts like that. Plus, the craziest, nuttiest thing is asking the buyer to let you, the seller, stay in the home for free for 1 or 2 or 3 months. I've even heard as long as 6 months in some instances, because buyers were willing to give anything to win that home, okay? Because buyers are not buying houses right now because they feel like it, or because the interest rate is lower, or because other crazy reasons. They simply are buying a home because they have to. They need a place to live. And the ones that have the extra cash, that are able to do these crazy things, are the ones that have been winning these bids. So hopefully we are gonna stop seeing that craziness as the inventory continues to increase. Now let me make sure that we're clear. This doesn't mean we're gonna see our market tank like most of you guys have been waiting for years. It's not gonna crash in a month or 6 or a year or 2, okay? all of the statistics that we have on a local level and nationwide, which you'll see here from some of these graphs and snapshots that I have. And most of this information, guys, not most, all of it, all this information, all these statistics come from our very trusted, absolutely amazing, and super, super accurate Crumford report, which we do a deep dive with every 2 weeks because I'm a paid subscriber of their service. So we look at this data every 2 weeks. We really get the report weekly so we can see it, but we talk and discuss it every 2 weeks to see how these changes are happening. And I'm also a paid subscriber to another service that looks at data nationwide, and they're seeing the same kind of trends all around. You'll see some of that information in here. So basically on the local level, guys, what we've been seeing is a slight increase in inventory for the last 3 to 4 months. So what we've seen, for example, in June is buyers were paying 1.8% higher than the list price on the transactions that went in escrow and end up selling. And right now, they're only paying about 1.4% over the list price. Now, I know number-wise that doesn't seem like a big difference, but it's a difference that will make a difference in our market slowly and hopefully towards a more reasonable market, meaning that there's still probably going to be bidding wars because the market is still a super strong, super hot sellers market, as you can see on this graph right here. But we're hoping that those crazy terms will go away where buyers won't have to give up their livelihood to win a bid. So this past month we saw an increase of inventory of over 24%, which sounds like a huge number, but in reality, in the big picture, it's really not, because we have such low inventory. That doesn't even compare to what the normal would be, which we are still 74% lower new houses on the market than what it should be. So we're still very, very behind, but it's a good little change that, again, we're hoping to see that trend continue throughout the following months. So as a quick snapshot here on the local level, here is this chart. You're gonna see some of the information. I know there's a lot on there, so I'll just point out a couple of things that are important to us that we see these changes in. So as you can see, the active number of listings, that's increased over last month, and that's been the trend for the last 3 to 4 months that we're expecting to continue. So that's great news for buyers. And still though, we're in a very, very hot seller's market. We're still less than 1 month worth of inventory of homes on the market, which, if you haven't seen my videos before, what that means is if no more homes were to be listed starting today, in less than a month, we would sell out. Everything would be sold out. There would be no houses to buy. Okay, that's how short of a list we have to get to sell. So that's a very, very strong seller's market. But again, we're seeing an increase in the numbers of listings that come on the market. So that's a great thing, a great sign, and we're hoping that to continue. So here's a cool chart if you're curious about what our cities have been ranked as with the crazy increase in prices that we've seen over the last 14 to 15 months. Now this is shown based on price per square footage, which I've explained this to you guys before. It's not always 100% accurate because it blends in with the luxury market, homes over $1 million and $2 million, which have seen an unusual increase in the number of transactions over this past year. So because more of those luxury homes have been bought and sold, it really pushed up our price per square footage over the entire area as an average, right? So that's why when we look at price per square footage, we really want to focus on just the area that you're looking in to really get an accurate picture. But this is something that they track, and I think that's very interesting to see some of these cities that over these last, the last 12 months is what's on this chart. Look how crazy the price increase is, guys. There is nothing, everything is in double digits and higher than double digits. Like this lowest increase is 16% or more. It's just insane. I mean, look at Paradise Valley and Scottsdale up top, like over $500 per square foot. It's insane. I mean, those prices are just crazy. So that's just kind of a cool it's just kind of a cool chart to look at to really put into perspective how insane our market and values have increased over the last 12 to 14 months. Now, on a national level, if you care to see what happens in the rest of the nation, watch the next minute or two. If not, you can close it right here. I thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate you. But here's what's going on a national level, which is very similar to what we're seeing right now. All right, so let's take a look at what's going on nationwide, which is very similar to what's happening for us in our local market. As you can see on these slides here, these are from our very trusted source, Keeping Current Matters, which they do almost the same thing that our local Cromford report does. They look at all the statistics and all the data nationwide, and they just look based on numbers and give us predictions of what they believe that happens based on what we've seen in the past with similar numbers. So obviously we know with buyers, these are the things that we've been seeing, just record price appreciation throughout the country. You have extremely low inventory, which skyrockets the price in any industry or just basic economics, right? Record high percentage sales over list price. So we've never had these many homes sell over the list price for as long as we've been tracking, I think 22 years. And then record low days on the market. Right now we're selling, right now, until about 3-4 weeks ago, we were selling most homes in 2 to 4 days over the weekend. Now we're starting to see a little bit longer days on the market. Not much, but it's a nice change that we're seeing. And of course, you have the historically low mortgage interest rates, which helps a lot of buyers still be competitive in this market. Because if you guys haven't watched the video, watch the video here where we explain how huge of a difference a 1% interest rate will make to your mortgage payment. Basically, guys, if you remember when we looked at it, we looked at a $350,000 home where 1% different in your interest rate was the equivalent to about $65,000 of buying power. So what does that mean? That means that if you could have bought a house last year and you didn't, for $350,000 when interest rates were 4.5, that same house right now is more expensive. But even though it's more expensive, the interest rate is 1% lower, so you can get an interest rate around 3.5, maybe 3.25. So 1% lower or more, which would be equivalent to $65,000 more in purchase power, meaning that house that you would have bought last year for $350, you can buy it now for $415, and your payment would be the same. Okay, so that's helping buyers still be competitive in this market, even though prices have gone up so high. Now, Discharge shows you a very good indication of how we're still in a very, very hot and strong seller's market. You can see how low below the normal we are, normal meaning a balanced market. So still very in the seller's favor. But again, with the small increase in inventory, we're hoping at least the crazy terms will go away and we'll be back to a normal bidding war, which we'll take that right now over what we've been seeing for the past few months. And here's the chart that shows that nationwide we're seeing an increase in inventory over the last few months. So again, great news, and we hope that that trend is going to continue. And even though some of you are still waiting for that, bubble market crash that is not coming because the inventory is so low, here's a chart by some of the biggest juggernauts in the industry that all they do is mortgages. These are their predictions and the forecast of increasing values of homes into 2021, okay? They're predicting something similar for 2022, but at a lower level, around the 3 and 4% increase in price, which is a lot lower than we've seen over the last year, which has been in the 20 and 30% increase in price. So we're still going to see an increase in pricing, but at a much smaller percentage. But what we're not going to see is a price drop. So stop waiting around, get off your butt, talk to a lender, call me, and we can show you how and why it's still an absolute amazing great time to buy because of the low interest rates. Because once those start going up as well, it's not going to be so good. And in closing, what I just said, this is what JP Morgan said. So same thing. Home buyers, interest rates are still historically low, though they are inching up. Housing prices have spiked during the last 6 to 9 months, but we don't expect them to fall soon. And we believe they're more likely to keep rising. So if you're looking to purchase a new home, conditions now may be better than 12 months from now. So I hope that helps, guys. If you have any questions or if you disagree with anything, I would love to chat with you about it. Comment below, call me, text me, email me, send a pigeon with a message, whatever you gotta do. I would love to conversate with you about this. If you have different information, different statistics, different things that you think are gonna happen, I would love to chat with you about it. So other than that, guys, you know I got your back when it comes to real estate. Anything you need, call me, text me, email me. I'm happy to help. Thanks so much for watching. Hey, if you haven't, don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video. Which will have some nice, unbelievable. So of course, in the middle of a video, my computer freezes. I can't read my slides. I don't remember everything. I gotta cheat. Oh, and it's a Mac. It should not freeze up like that.